Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniature. It is time to really go off the deep end. And that's because we have a new project from Crimson Steel Mechworks. And if there's one thing I know about them, they enjoy messing around with this stuff almost, if not more, than me even. So we've got in front of us a model that you may have already seen before, and I've painted some myself, and my brother's painted some of these myself. These are the Heretic naval power armor raiders, or some combination of those words in a different order possibly as well, that Crimson Steel Mechworks put out a little while ago. And while this is one of the monopose ones, I think, and I'm not even sure now, Crimson Steel Mechworks cannot help themselves when it comes to making new kits with tons and tons of parts. We've seen this in just about everything that they've released. This particular kit here is absolutely compatible with just about every other single power armor frame that they have put out. These are all different body types that all match up. They can't even fit on the screen, and that's just what I had handy. Never mind other things that family members have painted. And so I'm showing you all this, which has absolutely nothing to do with the thumbnail, because for as modular and as varied and as different and as creative as all this stuff is, they went and did the unthinkable and made the non-heavy power armor versions. So today we're going to take a look at the Heretic boarding party. Now, this is a relatively new kit, and it's actually one of a few similarly related regular Heretic raiders that Crimson Steel Mechworks has coming soon. So bear with me, but these guys, as you can see, are really going in with that naval theme. They all have a very diver suit look to them, and some of them have big, crazy, ridiculous backpacks, and every single model in the set has ridiculously big, bulbous, awesome-looking helmets. These guys are weird in all the right ways. If you want to do a weird war stuff, please go look at this kit. So this is mainly going to be, when it's in focus, the more ranged units. There is a unit of close combat guys, which I believe were called the Interred, which I'm going to show at a different time. Just because I wanted to kind of get you guys started, or at least, whet your appetite with some of the raiders. Now, I've equipped all of mine with two-handed weapons. They're all the typical gun and arms. They just slide on into the torso for the most part. Some of the torsos, the arms themselves have little studs all over the shoulders. You can kind of see right here, a little bit above the elbow near the shoulder. But those studs also kind of help line up where the arm should be placed at what angle. So that's what those do. I had some torsos somewhere. So the torsos, coincidentally, work just as well with every other kit so far that Crimson Steel Mechworks has made. So if you really wanted to go all in and make some fabulously unique looking models, grabbing stuff from things like the Karis pilots, the Nyx pilots, all the various regular sized humans that have been released so far. That's his torso I'm trying to connect that to. No wonder it's weird looking. Not that that's much better. But just as a show of proof, the heads from all the really hard sci-fi guys with his like 6-lensed night vision goggles there will fit on the regular naval raider boarding party guys. So if that's something you wanted to do, and it works vice versa, if you have like any of the various power armor frames that have been put out, all of the naval raider heads, and arms for that matter, will work. The arms are a little undersized if you wanted to put them on these. If you wanted to use the actual heavy naval raiders power armor arms, they would work a bit better with these. But just so you know, they are there, they are compatible, something to keep in mind. But, I mean, come on, look at these guys. Just fun, unique, bizarre, helmeted, bodied. there's lots of interesting stuff going on here, and it doesn't necessarily need to be only for things like Trench Crusade. Obviously, that was the intent with the whole Heretic, raiders and all. But really, these guys could be used in so many different varieties, and if you, like I said, have access to any of the more high-tech kits, especially the human-sized stuff, I think there's a lot of interesting parts here that you can get away with using. Now, I had started to mention about the two-handed weapons. That's all I have on these guys, but that's not to say that there aren't one-handed options for just about everything as well. The close combat guys have a little bit more in the way of options in that regard. Like I said, we'll talk about them soon enough. I can hear my dog barking because my son's trying to watch Alien Earth without me. Not cool. Now I have to finish this video like even faster. But you can find some of the more interesting weapons, like the heavy flamer here, not only in the Raider party, but also in the special weapons and command unit. So that's where I got like this guy with a demolition rifle. They've got some new leg designs. They've got some fun, weird hunchbacks, which I don't know if that's actually flesh or if it's, oxygen tanks or whatever, but just some very interesting heads. And that's one of the things that really needs to be mentioned as well. The sheer amount of heads that you will get with these kits is just astronomical. I honestly, probably like 20 plus at the very minimum. And that's before you start mixing and matching everything. I did mention, though, that there was the command and special weapons set. I believe that's where I got this guy in the solid snake pose with the silenced pistol, clanking around and all that stuff. I don't know how silent he's going to be, but it's interesting nonetheless. Now, what I wanted to actually point out was in the command set, you have parts to make fun things like priests. He's reading his incantations with his anchor-like ceremonial blade here. And also bringing their own sets of legs that are completely compatible with all the other troops. So, I gotta say, there's a lot going on here that I've barely scratched the surface of. And like I mentioned, all this stuff is compatible with everything else that's been released so far. And as you can see, I mean, while there is a pretty similar silhouette to all of the figures, they do tend to have their own very unique looks before you start weighing in all the extra, oxygen tanks, gas canisters, pouches, extra equipment that I don't even have on these guys yet. So that's another thing to consider. Do keep an eye out for these because I think they're going to be a lot of fun for a lot of people. I know if you are somebody who has stuff like Fleshcrafts, more Nurgle type things, or Mezgeiks, underwater guys for Warhammer proxies, I think that these are going to fit in fabulously if you use them for like Marine types, if you use them for Cultist types, especially when you get to the close combat dudes. But there's a lot going on. I'm going to put a link to the My Mini Factory page for Crimson Steel Mechworks. I don't know if these figures are available just yet, but if they're not, they will be soon, so it's definitely something to keep your eyes peeled for. And I almost forgot this guy, who has been giving me the most grief out of all of them, who was the very first one I actually built with the harpoon launcher that immediately prior to filming decided to have the harpoon blade snap off. That was not cool, friend. And I really love that weird helmet. Part of it makes me think of a koala head. Like, here's the eyes, the nose, which is weird in and of itself, but yeah, there's just a lot of fun to be had with these kits. So hopefully you guys are going to have as much fun as I have with them. Hopefully we will see some painted models from both myself and family members in the very near future, because I know I have already supplied them with a big old major stash of them. So thanks to Crimson Steel Mechworks for letting us play around with their toys, and hopefully we are going to see more of these in the future, because I know we will, because I have them sitting here waiting to be shown off. So yeah, with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.